שיר בגמרא במציע פרק השוכר סעומנים דף עין וו עמוד א'. Line begins with the word toiv miba'olav, sugיא or pשיטא. The Gemara is going to ask a question, and the Gemara is going to try to answer it, and then the Gemara is going to slug it up. Okay, that's the layout of the Gemara. So usually the word pשיטא, it's a question, but here the word pשיטא is an introduction to a question, which means this statement is simple to us, but we have a different question. So let's read. Zog de'ilike Gemara. Pשיטא. This upcoming din is very obvious. What's the case? Yomar lebalabais bekloso. If the balabais told his manager, go hire me workers for 3 zuz for the day, ve'ozaliu, and the manager went. Omar lahu ba'abo. He told the workers they're going to get 4, which means he told them they're going to get more than the balabais said. Ve'amrilei, and they told them back, kemoi shomar balabais, we want like the Balabai says. So now, well, how much are they going to get? Are they going to get 3 or are they going to get 4? So the Gemara says, number 1, da'atייהו אעלויא. Their mind is on the higher price, not on the 3. Their mind is on the 4. Therefore, what? So let's see. Rashi says the proper words. Beautiful. דעתייהו אעלויא. So Rashi says, even though they told the manager, we want to be hired like the words, like what the balabais says. So therefore, at first look, they should get 3 because that's what they said. So Rashi says, they didn't meant to make it less from what the manager made up. That's not what they meant. Why? Because nobody ever thinks of the lower price. Nobody thinks it's worth less than what people tell them. Aa'lויא, rather, they meant for the higher price. And that's what they told them. When they says, we want like the balabais, they meant like this. You believe to us. We believe you that that's what the balabais says. Now, so now we clarify that. So when they say, we want like the balabais, means we believe you that that's what the balabais says. Now, what's going to mean? And since Balabai says less, so if the manager told them, your payment is on my responsibility, therefore they're going to get it and mishaloi, you're going to get from his own. That means the Balabai is going to give 3, the manager is going to give the 4 zuz, they're not going to lose. And if you told them your reward doesn't, your payment is on the Balabai's responsibility, therefore, they're only going to get 3. They're going to have complaint. So this is the first case. Back to the Gemara. Now we have a case which is the opposite case. But the Balabais told the manager, go hire me workers for 4. And the manager went and he told the workers, you're being hired for 3. And they said, we want what the Balabais says, what will be the din? Okay, let's read the Rashi. This is a question to us. Basically, Rashi brought the same thing of the Gemara. Now we're going to have 2 choices. Since over here, there is 2 numbers. There is a lower number which they heard, and there is a higher number which they don't know from. So here are the choices. Choice 1, back to the Gemara. They rely on what the shliach says, what the manager says. The amrilei, they told them, when they told them, we want like the balabais, what did they mean by it? Me'em natlon the achiyom balabais. We believe you that that's what the balabais says. So therefore, let's see the Rashi. Adibur de poel samchi. V'achiyom rulei, that's what they told them. Me'em natlon the achiyom balabais. You believe to us that that's what the balabais says. They're only going to get 3 because they believe them. And they complain, why are you taking away what we deserve? Since the Balabai said 4, why are you lowering our prices? Back to the Gemara. Or maybe when they told them, we want what the Balabai says, they're relying on the Balabai's words, which means they tell them, we don't believe you that that's what the Balabai says. Okay, so since they don't believe them, they want what the Balabai says, so they're going to get 4. Rashi. Oy dilme. Lav le didei emnu. They didn't believe him. Elo achi amru. That's what they say. We follow what the Balabais says. They didn't agree for the lower price. And they're going to take 4. In order to answer this question, the Gemara is going to bring us the same debate regarding the question is, do we believe you or do we believe somebody else? It comes out in a separate case regarding a get. I just want to give an introduction, even though Rashi is going to also talk about it. A get, it says in the Torah, "Venosam biyoda." There is a few ways that the woman can get the get. A get is a document that when the husband wants to divorce his wife, he has to write a document, and he is cutting her off the relationship, nothing between them, and he has to send it to the wife. Now, how does he send it to the wife? Choice 1, he gives it to her in her hands. Okay, v'nosam biyado. Choice 2, he makes a shliach. So if the husband makes the shliach, that's called a shliach lo ilocha, a shliach to take the get to the wife. By a shliach lo ilocha, since the shliach is like the husband, so therefore the wife will be divorced when she gets it. Then there is another shliach. What happens if the wife makes a shliach? It's called a shliach lekabbalah, a shliach to receive the get. So that shliach, when is she divorced? She's divorced when the shliach gets the get. Just like as if the wife got the get. Now let's read the Gemara. Toshma, come in here. Story. Ove ligiti. If a husband told the shliach, go to my wife. No, I'm sorry. A wife told the shliach, she saw someone and she told the shliach the following words. Ove ligiti. Go to my husband, and my husband should make you a shliach lehoilocha. She didn't make him a shliach lekabbalah. She says, my husband will make you a shliach lehoilocha, which means that I will be divorced when I receive the get. Now the shliach, when he came to the husband, he says the following words. The shliach says, your wife made me a shliach lekabbalah. So now the shliach is changing from what the wife told him. So the wife told him to be a shliach lehoilocha. And he's changing that the wife told him that he is a shliach lekabbalah. And the husband tells the shliach, I'm giving you the get the way she's saying. Now it's very not clear. Now, so far we cannot learn anything. Omar Rav Nachman, Omar Rabbi Baravu, Omar Rav Nachman said in the name of Rabbi Baravu, the name of Rav, Afilu igia get leyodo eino megereshes. Even if the get comes to the wife's hand, she's not divorced. Why? Because nobody made him a shliach. She didn't make him a shliach lekabbalah. The husband says, take the get like she says, when what she says, a shliach lekabbalah. So he didn't make him a shliach loilocha. So nobody made him a shliach. If nobody made him a shliach, she cannot be divorced because she got the get. She has to be somewhere. She has to get the get from the husband. She didn't get from the get to the husband. But what are we going to learn from it? Shmat mino. From here we can learn, from the halacha we're going to learn, that he relied on the shliach. Therefore, if he relied on the shliach, he didn't make him a shliach lehoiloche. He relied that he's a shliach lekabbalah. Therefore, she's not divorced because no one made him a shliach. And the Gemara proves it. That if you're going to think that he relies on the word of the wife, so therefore he relied that what the wife said that the husband should make him a shliach lehoilocha. So he made him. So therefore, the din should have been when the get comes to her hand, at least then she should be divorced. Now, what do we see from here? So we see that we rely on the shliach. So therefore, the same thing by the poyalim, they rely on the shliach. Let's do the Rashi.
The manager. Not the shliach, the manager.
The shliach manager, it's the same thing. Manager is a shliach from the balabais to get workers. Let's do the Rashi. Rashi first. Rashi brings a girsa in the Gemara. Now Rashi explains. The woman told a person, shliach, if you're going to find my husband, you should tell him, he should send my get through you, ותיוסר שלוחי של בעלי, and you're going to become a shliach for my husband, לגרשני, to divorce me. When? כשמגיע גט ליודעים, when I will get the get. Now Rashi is giving us a little bit of explanation what shliach lo ilocha and what shliach lekabala. The shliach lo ilocha ala baal ha'asois. Who makes the shliach lo ilocha? The husband. V'isha misgareshes, and a woman gets divorced כשיגיע גט ליודו when she receives the get. Shliach lekabala ala isha lasos. Shliach lekabala has to be done by the woman. Sheyehu shluchu kemoiso, that he's going to be her shliach and just like her. And v'tizgaresh, and she's going to be divorced, mishagia get liyad the shliach. She's going to be divorced when the get comes to her, the hands of the shliach, because it's just like her. Next Rashi, afilu igia get liyad aina mugerashes. Almen, we see from here, adibur adideka samich, they're relying on the words of the shliach. Ve'ochi omarle, and that's what the husband tells the shliach. Me'egnatli, I believe you, that that's what she says. And therefore, v'lo yasoy shliach lo ilocha, he didn't make him a shliach lo ilocha. Ilkoch enke shlichus. Therefore, he's no shlichus. Why? De'eino leolas shliach lo ilocha. It's not up to her to make a shliach lo ilocha. Ve'arei oveli omroloi. She told him, go become a shliach lo ilocha to my husband. V'lo iskabel. And not she didn't tell him, I'm making a shliach lo kabbalah. Ve'abal nosno lo beter a shliach kabbalah. And the husband gave it to him as a shliach lo kabbalah. V'shlichus zeh, and such a shlichus ain't b'yad ha'ba'al asos. It's not up to the husband to do. The isal kedaitach hadibur didosamich, that means they relied on the shliach, ve'loi ledvaro ve'emin, he didn't believe him that he's a shliach l'kabbalah. Elo elach kemel shomro, he told him, I'm going to give it to you the way she said it. And what did she say? Go to my husband and he should make a shliach lo ilocha. Im kein if so, asoy shliach lo ilocha. He made him a shliach lo ilocha. V'zu b'yadayu, and that's up to the husband. And therefore, v'chimot igit lo yodem yitagarosh. And therefore, when the get comes to her end, she should be divorced. So that's the proof from our Gemara. Now we're going to go to the answer of the Gemara. I just want to bring out a very interesting point. There's such an answer in the Gemara. Is I believe only twice in the entire Shas. I don't remember with the other place, but I remember it's only twice. What is the Gemara doing? Instead of just slugging up, pushing away the comparison between get and the manager and the workers, the Gemara goes into a trick. That if the case will be done a little bit different, and if Rav Nachman would always say either A, we will learn 1, or if Rav Nachman would say B, we will learn 2. But now that Rav Nachman said the case was the way that Rav Nachman said it, and the din was the way Rav Nachman said it, we cannot compare the two. So let's go inside. Omar Ravashi says, Ochi Ashton, is that a way to compare those two cases? The case of get and the case of shliach of the managers, of the workers? Why not? Bishloimen makes sense if you would learn a case the opposite. For example, Skabeligiti, the wife tells the shliach, I'm making a shliach lekabbalah. In the shliach, when he came to the husband, he says, make me a shliach lo ilocha. And the husband says, Eilach k'moy shomer, take the get the way she says it. Ve'omar Rav Nachman. And Rav Nachman would have said, not that Rav Nachman said, Omar Rabbi Barabu Omar Rab, Mishiagia get leyodoi megoreshes. That from the get comes to his hand. She's divorced. Therefore, that means we follow Alma Dibur Didoko Samich. We rely on the words of her that she said is a shliach lekabbalah, and that's why she's divorced when the shliach got the get. So therefore, we can learn one way from the poyalim. Inami, if Rav Nachman would have said, "Mishagia get leyodo megoreshes," when the get comes to her hand, she's divorced. Alma Dibur Didoko Samich. So we see he relies on the words of the shliach, and he made him a shliach lo ilocha. So therefore, you could have learned from either cases. If Rav Nachman would have said them, either cases you could have learned to the case of shluchim and managers and workers. Elo also, but over there, where in the real case of Rav Nachman, that Rav Nachman said that she's not divorced. Before we said that the reason she's not divorced because nobody made him a shliach. So the Gemara, do you know the real reason why she's not divorced? Because the shliach is uprooting his shlichus completely. How is he uprooting it? Because what did the wife told him to become a shliach lo ilacha, which means that he has to go to the husband and come back to her to give her the get, which is a double job. Now, so when the shliach says, I'm a shliach lekabbalah, therefore he's saving the time that he doesn't have to go to the wife to go back. Therefore he's uprooting, not that no one made him a shliach. Even if somebody made him a shliach, he's still not a shliach, because he himself says, I don't want to be a shliach, I don't want to go back to the wife. The Omalei, because the shliach told the husband, shliach lekabbalah avino, I'm agreeing to be a shliach lekabbalah, that I don't have to go back to the wife. Lo ilacha lo avino. But lo ilacha, I don't want to be. Let's see the Rashi. Rashi is really, mamish literally explaining it beautifully. Ochi ashlo, bishlamit, harifro, iskab legiti, bishlocho amro, velegiti, v'omar v'nachman, chulu. Keloimer, which means to say. Ve'alo shmat l'Rav Nachman. And on that you would have heard from Rav Nachman, the Omar Mugresh, that he said she's divorced, which is a positive case, meaning it's halacha clearly that he's divorced. You could have learned from his words, that he would have said, when the get comes to his end, to the shliach's end, or to the wife's end, that is going to be a get. So we can learn either way. You can learn either that he's relying on the words of the shliach, or he's relying on the words of the wife. Rashi is explaining. If Rav Nachman would have said that when the get comes to the hands of the shliach, she's divorced, you can learn that he's relying on the words of the wife. He didn't believe the shliach. And he agreed to give it to him as a shliach lekabbalah, as the wife says, and the husband divorced because he made him a shliach lo ilacha. So that's what will be one way. And if Rav Nachman would have said that when the get comes to her hand, she's divorced, and not when the shliach receives the get, you could have learned that he's relying on the words of the shliach. And what did he tell him? And he told him, you believe in me? I believe you that that's what she said. Therefore, and he made him a shliach lo ilacha. And the shliach nisratz and the shliach agreed to uproot himself from being a shliach from the woman to be a shliach lekabbalah, and you can do that. And now he became a shliach to the husband to divorce. He made his shlichus and brought it to the wife. That means he literally made the extra mile to come all the way. You can do that. You can uproot yourself from the first shlichus and make yourself another shliach of the husband. So now Rashi is going to explain to us why in the real case of Rav Nachman it's not going to work. But in the case when you heard Rav Nachman that she's not divorced, you cannot learn from Rav Nachman that is relying on a shliach, and there is therefore is no shlichas, like you said. Like we said, that the reason she's not divorced is because nobody made him a shliach. Why? That even if you're going to say this relying on the words of the wife, that even if the husband made him a shliach lo ilacha, like the wife says, it's not considered a shlichus. Why? Because the shliach didn't agree. Why? Because he uprooting his shlichus completely. How? Because the way when he changes his shlichus, what is it? What's the message from the shliach? Shliach lekabbalah ef shilasois. A shliach lekabbalah I could be become. Why? I don't have to work hard to come all the way back to her heart, to the wife's place. But shliach lo ilacha. I have to work hard and go back to the wife. I don't want to become. Ilkach. Now Rashi brings another halacha. So when the husband gave it to him, he gave it to him as a shliach that is. No, let's finish the Rashi. Ilkach. אפילו נמלך והגיע אצלוי, even if he later on changed his mind, and he came to her, אין זה שליח שניתן לגירושים. It's not a shliach that you can accept to become divorced. Why? Because when he received it, he didn't receive it on that notion, on that condition. He received it that he was a shliach lekabbalah and not a shliach loilach. Now Rashi is asking a question. Why in one place you say, in the real case of Rav Nachman, you say that he's uprooting his shlichus when he's changing, and in the case of the what if case, when he's changing his shlichus, you don't say he's uprooting his shlichus. Now let's read it from inside. And if you're going to have a kasha, what's a kasha? We say exactly here the opposite. Where? In a case when she says, be a shlich lekabbalah. And he tells the husband, I want to be a shlich loiloche. That if Rav Nachman ever said on this case, when the end comes to the ends of the shlich, she's divorced. We will have learned that that is relying on her, on the wife, and he gave it to him on condition to be Kabbalah. So even though he's changing from being a hoiloche to Kabbalah, and we say that she's divorced. We don't have a question. He's also uprooting his shlichus. He's not agreeing to do a shlach lekabbalah. So the question of Rashi is, why, when he's changing from a shliach lohilocha to become from a shliach lekabbalah to become a shliach lohilocha, you're saying he's not uprooting his shlichus, and when he's the opposite, when he, from a shliach lekabbalah, from a shliach lohilocha to a shliach lekabbalah, he's uprooting his shlichus. So says Rashi, we can say if Rav Nachman will have such a case in such a din, we would learn that that's not called uprooting. Why? Since he agrees to be a shlich loilocha, which is more to do because he has to go all the way. Koshkin the misratze b'shlichus kabbalah. For sure, he's agreeing to be a shlich lekabbalah. She'akabbalah b'chlal loilocha leinan hatorach. Because the shliach lekabbalah is included in the shliach loilocha regarding the hard work, which means in $100 bill you have 250s, but in a 50 you don't have 100. In a shliach loilocha you have a shliach lekabbalah, which means shliach lekabbalah only does halfway. When he changes this to be a shliach lekabbalah, what is he saying? I'm willing to do even more. So that's not called uprooting. He's saying I'm willing to do much more than I was asked. Okay? Thank you for listening to the shiur.